When we tend to think of the Titanic, we tend to think of two things. The people that went down on the ship, like the band, or this. But something we don't often talk about are the animals that were on the Titanic when it went down. When we go on vacation or we move, we tend to take our animals with us. For instance, this 15-year-old man has lived in Kansas City, Colorado, Michigan, England, Ireland, and now Canada. And the people on the Titanic were no different. Some of them brought their dogs along. There were 12 dogs on the ship in total, with only 3 having survived the sinking of the Titanic. When the order went out to abandon ship, everybody was ordered to leave their furry friends behind. But some people didn't listen to this order. 2 Pomeranians and 1 Pekingese were saved from the ship. Now you'll notice something similar about these dogs. They're smaller. There were larger dogs on the Titanic, and unfortunately they didn't survive. With one story of a woman that owned a Great Dane that refused to leave it behind, so she went down on the ship with her Great Dane. Now that's not to say that they didn't give the dogs a fighting chance. At some time during the sinking, somebody decided they were going to let the dogs out of their kennels, and this led to a group of dogs running up and down the deck as it was sinking, just enjoying themselves apparently. But there weren't just dogs on the ship, there were also the ship's cats. They were used to keep the mice population down. We don't know how many cats were on the ship, but we know one of their names was Jenny, and it was the official ship cat. But sadly, none of the cats actually survived the Titanic sinking. And not every animal on the ship had a bad go of it. There were lobsters on the ship that were meant for eating, and when the ship went down, you can only imagine that they managed to swim their way to freedom. And you probably heard the story about the dog that was in the water, that when it barked loud enough, a lifeboat from the Carpathia was actually able to rescue the dog. It was said the dog was owned by First Officer William Murdoch and was a Newfoundland, thus how it was able to survive in the cold water. Unfortunately, this story is not true. There's no record of Murdoch ever bringing any dog on ship. What's your favorite fact about the Titanic? Let me know in the comments below.